wanted Martin Truex to be in his Cup car. They're saying they're just going to run this one race. I don't buy into it. This whole thing, I think there's going to with NASCAR's new provision of a guaranteed spot. So by February 2nd at 8 o'clock when the Clash starts, it's going to be cold as hell out there.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Hope everybody out there is off to a great weekend. I first want to start out this episode by saying my condolences to the Truex family. Martin Truex Sr. passing away. Man, a legend in his own right there. 135 NASCAR Busch North starts. This Truex family, legendary. Martin Truex Jr., champion out there. Ryan Truex, man, future ahead of him as well. But condolences to the family. I know that's tough. Been through it myself, so very hard to lose the old man racer in your life. But let's get talking about this subject here. I've got a lot in this episode. I mean, we got stuff from Jr Motorsports to Martin Truex, Mike Wallace. Cleetus McFarland. There's a lot of things I want to cover in this episode. Let's start out right now with Jr Motorsports. Wait's finally over. Apparently, we see it. Jr Motorsports coming into the NASCAR Cup Series after all this time. So many questions with it. And man, that car, 40 car. I was blown away by that to start with because I just didn't get it at first. I didn't get the paint scheme. I was kind of like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I like this, but I'm going to tell you, over the last couple of days, I've really grown to like this paint scheme. And I understand the number 40. I understand every bit of it right now. Travelers Whiskey coming on board. I mean, this is cool. You got Chris Stapleton being involved with this. Chris Stapleton, man, this is cool as hell right here to see this happen. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that I really wanted to see with this was I wanted to see Martin Truex Jr. in this car. And there's very good reasons for this because it wasn't but a few years ago, actually I think it was 2022, Dale Jr. said he wanted Martin Truex to be in his Cup car when he started the Cup Series venture. And the whole reason for this was because Martin Truex started his Cup career with DEI. So Junior thought, this would be full circle. I start my Cup team. You come drive for me. This is a pretty awesome deal. And man, I really, really hoped that this would happen. But unfortunately, it's not. I say unfortunately, but it's still fortunate in every situation that's coming out with all these right now because Justin Allgaier is getting in this car. And if you heard Dale Jr. talk about this on a Dale Jr. download, they were struggling with who to put in this car. And I'm going to tell you, I believe in my heart that Junior wanted Truex in that car still. I think that was probably his first pick right off the bat. But Justin Allgaier, salesman. I mean, it's obvious. They said it. He's out there. He's doing his thing. He's the Xfinity champion. Why not give him the shot? He's still driving for you. He's still got a career out there in front of him. And who the hell knows what's going to happen with this Jr Motorsports Cup team? Now, they're saying they're just going to run this one race. I don't buy into it. I think there's going to be more races this year. I hope there's going to be more races this year. I hope this 40 car goes out there and is competitive as hell at Daytona. And Junior can't help but go, damn it, we got to get out there and run. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with all this. But again, man, I would love to see Truex in there. But Justin Allgaier, good for you, man. Damn good for you to get this happen. Now let's move over to Truex right now because it was announced that Martin Truex Jr. is going to be driving for Tricon Garage. And I love this part of the story right here because he's going to be back in the number 56. His father's number. His number when he was coming up through. This is great to see right here. And the cool part about this, he's going to be partnering back with Cole Pearn. Now, I do have a lot of reserves about this right now because Cole has been away from the racetrack for a while. Really hasn't been around these new cars. But knowing Cole Pearn as a crew chief, I guarantee you he is educating himself in every way that he can to make this car perform in this Daytona 500. And you got to think about it. Martin Truex has never won the Daytona 500. Come close, but has never won it. If these two could come back and win this race together, holy hell, this is going to be a cool deal. But they still got to make the race. That's one of the things about it. But they got Joe Gibbs racing behind them. They got that affiliation right there. So I kind of see this 56 car going in there just like Martin Truex would at Daytona any other year. He's going to be a contender. He's going to be in this race. And damn it, he could win this. I would love to see that because that would just be, Martin's my dude, so I'd love to see this. Now we got to move over to the car that he just evacuated there, the 19 car with Joe Gibbs Racing, Chase Briscoe. And this is the other question I got right here, right now, which, by the way, damn it, I love this paint scheme. But we got Chase Briscoe moving over there. So this is kind of with Martin Truex and Cole Pearn partnering up here. If they do perform really well, this is going to put more pressure on James Small, because James got a lot of flack for the way things kind of transpired after Cole Pearn left the 19 car. And, you know, there was some heated conversations between James and Martin. And so, you know, James, he's got to perform now. I think James is the one on the hot spot right now with this deal, because if Chase Briscoe gets in this car and they don't do good next year, it's not going to look good on James. But I am hoping that they actually go out there and do some really killer stuff this year. I hope they get out there and get some wins, because I do love pulling for that 19 car, if only for nostalgia alone. But Chase Briscoe, yeah, I think we got to win this year. I really do. So we'll see what's going to be happening with that. But what's also cool about this is both teams, Tricon Garage and Jr Motorsports. This is their very first attempt in the NASCAR Cup Series. So there's kind of an inner battle right there to see how these guys fare out, which there's so many guys coming into this race. So it's going to be cool to see who makes the race, who doesn't. Now I want to move over to, this big news last week, Mike Wallace. And I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of pissed about this, because Mike Wallace, let's just be honest about this, 197 starts in the NASCAR Cup Series, 3 wins at Daytona across 3 different divisions. But he's not going to be able to race, because NASCAR says he hasn't been in a car for like 10 years on an oval, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. But there's so many other things that they're doing, and I'm not bashing NASCAR with this. I'm just saying there's other things that they're doing. Come on. Give him some time out there on the track. Let's see what happens. I think that would have been a good way to do this, because you just don't forget how to drive. Yeah, you might not be used to this new car, but nobody else was just a couple years ago. So, but also, this brings me to the other point. Helio Castroneves, why do I always say that wrong? But he's out there with Trackhouse, guaranteed a spot in the Daytona 500. So this is another place that I just don't get. I don't get this. You got a guy who's actually won at Daytona in NASCAR competition, but then a guy who hasn't been, but he's going to run the ARCA race, so we're going to make it okay for him to race. And man, a hell of a racer. So it's not saying that he don't deserve to be there, but I don't. This whole thing with NASCAR's new provision of a guaranteed spot for world-class drivers. What happened to the grassroots drivers? The guys that were coming up through that just were badasses that made it years ago, who could still get in the car. Hence, Mike Wallace. But I hope Helio goes out there and does good, and I hope Trackhouse does good with this, because they're good at bringing some other people into that 91 car. I don't know. But this brings me to the other guy that I want to talk about right now, and I love this story right here. Cleetus McFarland. Cleetus McFarland getting out there in ARCA car, going out there and testing here, just a few days ago. And man, the first time out there at Daytona, went out there, practiced, was 15th in practice, which is really, really damn respectable. And I'm going to tell you, when I look at Cleetus McFarland, I think of him like as the Jake Paul of racing in YouTube, because this man is doing things. He's making stuff happen. And I love it, especially with all the rescue efforts that he was doing and everything. I mean, man, I cannot help but admire this guy. So it's really cool to see this happen. And he's got Greg Biffle down there with him. And Greg and him working so closely together with all the destruction that happened during the hurricane here in North Carolina. So I love to see this. And I'm going to say right now, let's just look at some of these things right here, because the fastest speed down there was 49.102 miles per hour. And Cleetus was out there, Garrett Mitchell, what we're going to call him Cleetus, he was out there, turned a lap of 49.64 miles per hour. So within a half second of the fastest speed out there. First time out there. Go get it done, dude. I like this. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to call this. I see Cleetus being an Xfinity ride, at least for a race or a truck ride, within the next couple years. I see that happen. I hope it happens, because that'd be cool. And also Greg Biffle. I really think Greg Biffle will be back in a Xfinity car or truck car for a race or two here in the next year or two. I'd love to see it. Now, I'm going to finish this up right here with this. Bowman Gray. the Clash. Now, I'm going to tell you, it has been cold as hell in North Carolina here recently, and I've been following this. I keep up with the 14-day weather pattern just to see how accurate it's been and see what temperature is going to be come February 2nd for the Clash, because it's been cold as hell around here. And it's interesting because February 1st, it's going to be 45 during the day, 30 degrees at night. But steadily over the days prior to that, it keeps going down. Every day it's getting colder. So by February 2nd, at 8 o'clock when the Clash starts, it's going to be cold as hell out there for everybody at the racetrack, in the race car. Well, not in the race cars. You're going to have a little heat there, but buckle up, everybody. It's going to be cold. Now, finish this. 2 guys. Bowman Gray Legend is going to be in this race. Tim Brown out there for Rick Ware Racing. I love this. Tim Brown, guy around my age, kind of felt like this dream was to the wayside. Winningest driver at Bowman Gray. So I love this, that he's actually going to get out there and run a NASCAR Cup race like this. And, man, I'm going to tell you, who knows what could happen. Guy's got a lot of knowledge there. And also Burt Myers getting out there with Team Amerivet. And Burt Myers, another legend there. And this is going to be cool just to see these 2 guys battle it out. See who's the best at the Madhouse in the Cup race. So, man, there's so much fun stuff happening in 2025. And it's kicking off here in just a couple weeks. So, man, hope you join me for everything. But above all, man, I hope everybody out there is off to a great weekend. And if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, still hit that subscribe button. Give this episode a like. Throw them comments down below. And, man, we'll see you at the checkered flag.